The day Dean Martin stopped Hollywood, the sound of a man's spine hitting sun-baked earth echoed across the desert like a gunshot. Dean Martin watched the stunt extra crumple 12 feet below, motionless in the dust, and in that moment he had a choice. Keep filming and collect his paycheck like every other star in Hollywood, or do something that would mark him as a troublemaker for the rest of his career. It took him exactly 3 seconds to decide. 3 seconds that would cost him millions, threaten his future, and prove to John Wayne that Dean Martin wasn't just another pretty face with a microphone. He was the real deal. What happened next didn't just halt production on one of the biggest westerns ever made. It rewrote the rules for how Hollywood treated the people nobody bothered to remember. July 1958, Old Tucson Studios, Arizona. The thermometer read 112 degrees, the kind of heat that makes breathing feel like work. Dean Martin, John Wayne, and director Howard Hawks were filming Rio Bravo, a western destined to become a cinematic masterpiece. But July 23rd brought something to that desert set that had nothing to do with making movies and everything to do with revealing character. Hollywood in 1958 operated on a simple principle: keep the cameras rolling no matter what. The industry machinery was designed to chew through human beings like disposable parts. Extras, stunt performers, crew members, they were shadows, replaceable bodies. Get injured? That was your problem. Either get back on your feet or step aside for someone who could. The show never stopped. Dean had witnessed this brutality throughout his career, but he'd never been in a position to challenge it. His job was simple: show up looking sharp, deliver his lines with that trademark cool, take the check, go home. Don't make waves, don't cause problems. But something about Rio Bravo was different. Perhaps it was collaborating with John Wayne, a man whose presence commanded respect. Maybe it was the isolation of the Arizona desert, the punishing heat. Or maybe Dean Martin had simply reached a breaking point where silence became impossible. Whatever the catalyst, July 23rd transformed Dean Martin from entertainer into something far more significant. The sequence being filmed was a saloon brawl, classic Western choreography. The production had hired approximately 30 stunt performers and extras, mostly local Tucson guys earning $75 a day. Decent money in 1958, assuming you survived to collect it. Among those extras was Tommy Mitchell, a 34-year-old former rodeo rider who'd been doing stunt work for 5 years. Back in Tucson, his wife Sarah and 2 young daughters waited. Landing a role on Rio Bravo felt like hitting the jackpot. Working alongside John Wayne and Dean Martin could transform a stuntman's career. Tommy's assignment was straightforward. During the bar fight, get thrown through a breakaway window, hit the dirt outside, execute 2 rolls, stay down. Easy work for someone who'd spent years getting thrown off horses. The breakaway window was constructed from sugar glass, material designed to shatter harmlessly on impact. Standard Hollywood illusion. But the construction crew had made a critical error. The window frame, which should have been breakaway wood, had been reinforced with metal supports. Someone in props had grabbed the wrong frame that morning, visually identical to the breakaway version, but built for permanence, not performance. The assistant director called action. The saloon erupted into choreographed violence, and precisely on cue, 2 stuntmen seized Tommy Mitchell and hurled him toward that window. Tommy struck the glass at full velocity. The sugar glass shattered perfectly, but the frame didn't yield. Instead of breaking away, the metal-reinforced structure caught him mid-flight like a clothesline. The sound was sickening, a wet crack that cut through the desert silence. Tommy's body contorted unnaturally before plummeting 12 feet straight down onto hard-packed earth. He didn't roll. He didn't move. He simply lay there, dust settling around him like a funeral shroud. The assistant director shouted, "Cut!" 3 seconds of silence followed, then pandemonium. The stunt coordinator sprinted toward Tommy. The set medic ran. Crew members swarmed. Dean Martin, still in costume with stage blood on his shirt, pushed through the crowd. Tommy Mitchell was conscious, barely. His left arm bent at an impossible angle. Blood streamed from a gash on his head. Worse, his legs weren't moving. The medic assessed quickly. "We need an ambulance immediately. This is serious." Gerald Foster, the production manager, materialized instantly. Foster represented the studio's interests. He was the numbers guy, the schedule keeper, the man who ensured the film came in on budget and on time. He glanced at Tommy on the ground and spoke words that made Dean Martin's blood freeze. Get him off my set, put him in someone's car and take him to the hospital, and find out who grabbed the wrong window frame. They're fired. No concern for Tommy's condition. No questions about his prognosis. Just remove him like defective equipment. The medic protested, insisting Tommy shouldn't be moved until the ambulance arrived. Foster cut him off. We're losing light. Every minute we're not filming costs this studio $10,000. Get him out of here and reset the scene. Dean Martin stood right there, hearing every word. Something inside him broke. Not explosively, quietly, dangerously. He approached Foster, his face calm, his voice low. What hospital are they taking him to? Foster barely acknowledged him. Tucson General, I suppose. Why? Who's paying for it? Foster finally looked at him. That's not our problem. He signed a waiver. These guys understand the risks. It's part of the job. So the studio's not covering his medical bills? The studio provides on-set medical care. Anything beyond that is his responsibility. That's standard. Now, if you don't mind, we need to reset this scene. Dean took a breath. Reset the scene without me. Foster's face flushed crimson. Excuse me? You heard me. I'm not filming another frame until I know that man's medical bills are covered. The entire set went silent. Crew members froze. John Wayne, who'd been in his trailer, emerged and positioned himself at the scene's edge, watching. Howard Hawks set down his script. Everyone sensed something monumental unfolding. Foster attempted to laugh it off. Dean, come on, don't be dramatic. The guy signed a waiver. This is how it works. Not anymore, it doesn't. Foster's smile vanished. You have a contract. You can't just refuse to work. Dean Martin removed his costume hat and handed it to a nearby crew member. Watch me. Foster stepped closer, his voice threatening. You walk off this set, and you'll never work in this town again. Warner Brothers will bury you. You'll be finished. Dean didn't flinch. Then I guess I'm finished. But that man isn't going bankrupt because your construction crew screwed up. The silence on that set was absolute. In 1958, actors didn't challenge studios like this. Studios wielded absolute power. If they wanted to destroy your career, they could do it with one phone call to every major studio in Hollywood, and you'd never see the inside of a soundstage again. Dean Martin knew this. Everyone knew this. But Dean Martin was standing his ground anyway. Foster played his trump card. You're holding up a production that employs 150 people. Every day we don't shoot, that's 150 people not getting paid. You really want that on your conscience? Dean looked around at the crew, electricians, camera operators, makeup artists, sound technicians, all watching to see what would happen. Then Dean said something that changed everything. How many of you have been hurt on a set and had to pay your own medical bills? For a moment, nobody moved. Then slowly, hands began rising. 1, then 3, then a dozen. More than half the crew raised their hands. Broken bones, concussions, burns from lights, falls from scaffolding. All of them had paid out of pocket because the studio claimed it wasn't their problem. Dean turned back to Foster. So it's not just Tommy, it's all of them. Every person on this set who's been chewed up and thrown away. You're telling me that's just how it works?